Turn the lights down, get comfortable, and don't play this too loud. Tonight, you're not just listening, you're in it. Before we start, drop where you're listening from in the comments and tell me what kind of stories hit you the hardest. Road stories, house stories, or the ones that feel a little too real. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe now, because once this starts, you might not want to touch your phone again. Alright, let's begin. My dog never reacted to nothing. Not the wind, not noises, not shadows. If he made a sound, it meant something was there. That's what made this different. It didn't start with barking. It started with silence. Every night, same time, 2:13 a.m. I didn't even notice it at first. He'd get up from the foot of the bed, walk into the hallway, and sit, perfectly still, not laying down, not shifting, just sitting, facing the dark. At first I thought, bathroom, water, something normal, but he never moved past the hallway, never went to the kitchen, never scratched at the door, just sat there, watching. After a few nights, I started watching him, from the bed, not moving, just observing. That's when I saw it. His head, slowly turning, left, then stopping, then right, then stopping, like he was tracking something moving back and forth in front of him, slow, controlled, deliberate. There was nothing there. I checked, every time, lights on, empty hallway, lights off, same thing, but he never broke focus, not once. Then came the growl, low, so low I almost didn't hear it, but I felt it, in my chest, like a vibration. I said his name, nothing, said it louder, still nothing. Then, he started backing up, slow, careful, still facing forward, like whatever he was watching was moving closer to him. That's when I got up, walked into the hallway, turned the light on. Nothing, no shadows, no movement, no sound, just me and him. But when I looked down at him, he wasn't looking at the hallway anymore. He was looking at me, and something in his face was wrong. Not aggressive, not scared, just empty, like I wasn't his owner anymore. Like he didn't recognize me at all. That night, I didn't sleep. I laid there, watching the doorway, watching him, watching the hallway. At exactly 2:13 again, he got up. Same routine, same spot, same stare. But this time, I didn't look at him. I looked past him, into the hallway, into the dark. And for a second, I thought I saw something. Not clearly, just darker than the dark around it, standing right where he was looking. I blinked, and it was gone. That's when I heard it. Breathing, not from the hallway, from my room, right next to the bed. Slow, heavy, close. I froze, didn't move, didn't breathe. My dog started growling again. But this time, he wasn't looking down the hallway. He was looking into my room, past the doorway, past the foot of the bed, right at something, standing beside me. I slowly reached my hand out, toward where the sound was coming from. Nothing, empty air, but the breathing didn't stop. It got closer, right by my ear, then it stopped. Complete silence, and my dog sat down, calm again, like whatever it was had moved. The next morning, I checked the hallway, walls, floor, nothing, until I looked lower, right at the base of the wall. Scratch marks, long, deep, fresh, like something had been dragged back and forth all night. That night, I stayed awake again, didn't even try to sleep. 2:13 came. My dog didn't get up this time. He stayed at the foot of the bed, staring, not at the hallway, not at the door, but at me, and slowly, his head tilted, the same way it did before, like he was listening to something standing right behind me. If you've ever had a pet act strange, really think about it. Was it random, or was it reacting to something you couldn't see? Let me know in the comments, because some of these stories don't have good endings. If you've ever had a pet act strange, don't brush it off too fast. Sometimes, they're not reacting to nothing. They're reacting to something that hasn't noticed you yet. Story 2. The cat would not come back in. We never had to worry about the cat. She stayed close, always did, in and out of the house, but never far. Every night around the same time, she'd scratch at the door to come in. Same routine, same soft tapping, until the night she didn't. At first I didn't notice. Fell asleep on the couch, TV still on, house quiet, too quiet. Then I realized I hadn't heard her. No scratching, no sound at all. I got up, walked to the door, and opened it. Cold air hit me immediately, the kind that doesn't feel normal. Not just cold, still, heavy. I called her name. Nothing. Waited a second. Then I saw her, sitting just outside the edge of the porch light, not moving, not coming toward me, just sitting, watching the house. I called her again. She didn't react, didn't blink, didn't shift, just stared. That's when I noticed something else. She wasn't looking at me. She was looking past me, into the house. I stepped back a little, thinking maybe something was behind me. Turned around. Nothing. Living room empty. Lights on. TV flickering. Same as I left it. When I turned back, she was closer. Not by much, but enough that I knew she moved, and I didn't see it happen. I crouched down, held my hand out. Come on. She didn't move, didn't even flinch. Then, her ears flattened, slow, like something had just made a sound. But I didn't hear anything. She started backing up, still facing me, still staring, but retreating. That's when I heard it. Inside the house, behind me, a soft sound, like something brushing against the wall. I turned around again, heart already racing. Nothing. But the TV had gone quiet. Static, low, just a faint hiss now. I turned it off. Silence, the kind that feels loud. When I looked back outside, the cat was gone. Just gone. No sound, no movement, nothing. I stepped outside, called her again. Nothing answered. I walked a little further off the porch, into the dark. That's when I heard it, behind me, the same scratching sound she used to make. At the door, I turned slowly. The door was closed now, and something was on the other side of it. Scratching, soft at first, then faster, more aggressive, like it wanted in. I rushed back to the door, stood there, hand on the knob, listening. It stopped. Completely. No movement, no sound, just silence again. I should have walked away. I didn't. I opened the door, slow, careful, nothing there. Empty porch, no cat, no movement, just that same heavy stillness. I stepped back inside, closed the door, locked it, and that's when I heard it. From down the hallway, a soft, low, purring sound. Not from outside, from inside the house. I turned toward the hallway, and at the very end, just before the darkness swallowed the light, I saw her, sitting there, looking at me, completely still. But something about her was off. Her body didn't look right, too still, too stiff, and her eyes weren't reflecting the light. They looked flat, like they weren't really there. I said her name. She didn't move, didn't blink. The purring got louder, but her mouth wasn't moving. And then, her head turned, slow, unnatural, too far, like something was pulling it from the inside, not toward me, but toward something standing just behind me. That's when I felt it, that same cold, right at my back, close enough to feel breath. But when I turned, there was nothing there. When I looked back at the hallway, the cat was gone. That was the last night I ever opened the door after dark. We never saw her again, but every now and then, late at night, you can still hear scratching at the door, soft, slow, waiting to be let in. If something was outside your door, and it sounded like something you loved, would you open it? Story 3. He started waiting for it. My neighbor's dog used to bark all the time, loud, constant, annoying, every night, same time, around 1:50, like clockwork. At first I hated it, woke me up almost every night, but after a while, I got used to it. It became background noise, something normal. That's what made it worse when it stopped. The first night it went quiet. I woke up anyway, same time, 1:50, just silence, no barking, no movement, nothing. I remember laying there, thinking how strange it felt, like something was missing. Then I heard it, a single bark, short, sharp, but not outside, closer, much closer. I sat up in bed, listened, nothing, waited, still nothing. I told myself I imagined it, rolled over, tried to sleep. The next night, same thing, 1:50, silence, then one bark, closer again. This time, I got up, walked to the window, looked outside, nothing. Neighbor's yard was empty, no dog, no movement, just darkness, but I could feel it. Something wasn't right. The third night, I stayed awake, didn't even try to sleep, just laid there, watching the clock. 1:49, 1:50, nothing, no bark, just silence. Then, a sound from inside the house, a slow, heavy breathing, not from outside, not from the walls, from inside, somewhere close. I stood up, heart already racing, walked toward the hallway. The air felt different, colder, thicker, like it didn't want me there. Then I heard it again, a bark. But this time, it wasn't right. It sounded stretched, too long, too low, like something was trying to copy the sound, but didn't know how. I followed it. Down the hallway, slow steps, every instinct telling me to stop. I didn't. The sound was coming from the living room. I reached the corner, looked in, and froze. Something was sitting in the middle of the room, in the dark, perfectly still. At first, I thought it was the dog, same size, same shape, but something about it was wrong. It was sitting too straight, too upright, like it wasn't relaxed, like it was waiting. I stepped back, barely breathing. Then it turned its head, slow, too slow, and the sound it made wasn't a bark anymore. It was something else, something deeper, something wet. I backed away, step by step, until I was in my room again. Closed the door, locked it. Didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I went outside, walked over to my neighbor's house, knocked. He answered, looked tired, worn out. I asked him about the dog. He just stared at me for a second, then said, "We had to put him down." My stomach dropped. I asked when. He said, 3 nights ago. Same night the barking stopped. Same night it started. Inside my house. I didn't tell him anything, just nodded, walked back home, tried to convince myself it was nothing. Stress, lack of sleep, anything but what I was thinking. That night, I stayed in my room, door locked, lights off, didn't move. 1:50 came, and this time, there was no build-up, no silence first, just a bark, right outside my door, loud, clear, perfect, exactly how it used to sound. I stared at the door, didn't move, didn't breathe. Then I heard something else, a second sound, a human voice, low, right behind the bark, like it was layered under it, trying to speak through it. I couldn't make out the words, not at first, but then, it got clearer, slower, forced. Let me in. I covered my mouth, didn't make a sound. The handle started to move, slowly, back and forth. Testing it, the barking stopped, the voice didn't. Let me in, again, softer this time, closer, like it was right on the other side. Then, it stopped. Everything stopped. No sound, no movement, nothing. I stayed there, for hours. Didn't open the door, didn't move. Eventually, I fell asleep. Didn't mean to, just passed out. When I woke up, it was morning, light coming through the window. Everything normal again, quiet, safe. I told myself it was over, got up, walked to the door, hand shaking, and unlocked it. Opened it slowly, nothing there. Empty hallway, sunlight coming in. I stepped out, looked around, everything normal, until I looked down, right at the floor, in front of my door. Scratches, deep ones, dragged across the wood, back and forth, like something had been sitting there all night, waiting. And next to them, pressed into the floor, were handprints, not paw prints, not claws, hands, long, thin, and wrong. If something came to your door, and it sounded familiar, would you still open it? Story 4. It learned how to come back. My sister's dog died in the house. Old age, nothing violent, nothing strange, just one day he didn't get up. We buried him in the backyard, right near the fence, same spot he used to lay in the sun. She took it hard. That dog had been with her for years, slept at the foot of her bed every night, followed her everywhere. After he was gone, the house felt empty, too quiet, like something was missing. The first night, she said she couldn't sleep, kept waking up, thinking she heard him moving around, the sound of nails on the floor, that soft clicking noise. I told her it was just habit, your brain filling in what it expects. She nodded, but didn't look convinced. The second night, it got worse. She said she heard footsteps again. This time, in the hallway, back and forth, Same pattern he used to walk, from her room to the living room, then back again, over and over. She didn't open the door, just laid there, listening, trying to convince herself it wasn't real. The third night, she called me, didn't even say hello, just whispered, "I think he's back." I drove over, didn't believe it, but I went anyway. The house was quiet when I got there, too quiet. She opened the door slowly, didn't even step outside, just stood there, eyes wide, told me to come in. I walked inside. Nothing. No sound, no movement, just that same heavy silence. I asked her what she was hearing. She pointed down the hallway, said, "Wait." So we did, stood there, in the dark, listening. At first, nothing. Then, a sound, soft, faint, click, 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 like nails on hardwood, coming from the hallway, moving toward us, slow, steady, getting closer. I felt my chest tighten, told myself it was pipes, wood, anything but what it sounded like. But she grabbed my arm, tight, whispered, "That's him." The sound stopped, right at the edge of the hallway, just before the light reached it. Nothing stepped into view, nothing moved, just silence again. I walked forward, slow, heart pounding, looked down the hallway, empty, every door closed, nothing there. I turned back to her, about to say something, when we both heard it, behind us, in the living room, the same sound, click, click, click. We turned at the same time, and there, in the middle of the room, something was sitting. At first glance, it looked like him, same shape, same size, same outline, but it wasn't right. It was too still, too stiff, like it didn't breathe, like it wasn't alive, but wasn't gone either. My sister took a step forward, voice shaking, called his name. It didn't react, didn't move, didn't even blink. Then, its head turned, not naturally, too slow, too smooth, like it was being rotated, not moved, and the sound it made wasn't a bark. It was something trying to be one, distorted, wet, wrong. My sister started crying, said his name again, took another step closer. I grabbed her arm, told her to stop. That wasn't him, it couldn't be, but she pulled away, took one more step, and that's when it stood up, slowly. Its legs moved, but not right, like it was learning how to use them again, like it didn't remember how. It took one step toward her, then another, and as it got closer, I saw its face, or what should have been its face. There was something there, but it didn't look finished, like it was trying to hold a shape, and failing. My sister whispered, "Come here," and it did. It walked right up to her, stopped inches away. She reached down, hand shaking, and touched it. For a second, nothing happened. Then she smiled, said, "It's him," and I swear, for just a second, it almost looked like it was, like it recognized her, like it remembered. Then its mouth opened, too wide, too far, and the sound that came out was her voice, perfect, exact. "Let me stay." I pulled her back, hard. She screamed. The thing didn't move, just stood there, watching us. Then slowly, it sat back down. Same spot, same stillness, like it was waiting again. We left that night, didn't go back, didn't take anything. House is still there, empty now, at least, that's what people think. But every now and then, neighbors say they hear something at night, walking, back and forth, click, 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 like it's still there, learning, practicing, waiting for someone to call it by name again. If something came back, but it wasn't the same, would you still let it in? Story 5. It was already inside. It started with something small. It always does. A sound, late at night, that doesn't belong. For me, it was the dog, not mine. I don't have one, but every night, around the same time, I'd hear it, scratching, soft at first, right outside my bedroom door, slow, patient, like it knew I was awake. The first night, I ignored it. Old house, wood expands, pipes shift, you tell yourself things like that. The second night, it came back, same spot, same sound, scratching, closer this time, more deliberate. I sat up in bed, stared at the door, waiting for it to stop. It didn't, it just continued, back and forth, like nails dragging across wood. I didn't open the door, I just laid back down, pulled the blanket up, and waited for morning. By the third night, I wasn't sleeping at all, just laying there, watching the clock, waiting for it. 2:07 a.m., right on time. The scratching started again, but this time, there was something else with it. Breathing, low, heavy, right on the other side of the door. I could hear it clearly now, not imagination, not the house. Something was there. I got up, slow. Every step felt wrong, like I already knew I shouldn't be doing this. I stood at the door, hand on the handle, listening. The scratching stopped instantly. The breathing didn't. It got closer, right up against the door. Then, a sound, a soft, low whine, like a dog in pain. That's what got me. That sound, something about it, felt real, familiar, like it needed help. I told myself, just open it, see what it is, and get it over with. So I did. I opened the door, slow, careful, nothing. Empty hallway, dark, silent, no dog, no movement, nothing at all. I stood there, confused, trying to make sense of it. Then I felt it, behind me, a shift in the air, a cold, close presence. I turned around, nothing. Room looked the same, bed, walls, everything where it should be. I told myself it was over, closed the door, locked it, went back to bed. That was my mistake, because that was the night it got in. The next night, there was no scratching, no sound outside the door, just silence. I almost felt relieved, like it had stopped, like whatever it was gone. Then I heard it, from inside the room, behind me, a slow, steady breathing, right at the foot of the bed. I didn't move, didn't turn around, didn't even breathe. I just listened, and it stayed there, all night. The next morning, I checked the floor. Nothing, no scratches, no prints, no signs of anything, but something felt different. The room felt occupied, like I wasn't alone anymore. That night, I stayed awake again, waiting, watching. 2:07 came, no sound, just that same feeling, like something was in the room with me. Then, I heard movement, slow, soft, coming from the corner. I turned my head, just enough to see it, a shape, low to the ground, watching me, not moving, not blinking, just there. I couldn't see its face, just the outline, but I knew it was looking at me. And then, it stood up, not like a dog, not natural, too slow, too controlled, like it was figuring out how to move. It took one step forward, then another, closer to the bed, closer to me, and as it got closer, I could see more of it. Its body didn't look right, like it didn't fully belong in that shape, like it was wearing it. Then it stopped, right next to the bed, close enough to hear it breathing, close enough to feel it, and then it made a sound, not a bark, not a growl, a voice, my voice, perfect, clear. Don't be scared. I couldn't move, couldn't think, just laid there, frozen. It leaned closer and whispered again, still my voice, go to sleep. I don't remember falling asleep. I just remember waking up, morning, light in the room, everything quiet, normal. For a second, I thought it was over. A dream, stress, something explainable. Then I sat up, looked toward the door, and saw it, scratch marks, on the inside, not outside the door, inside the room, dragged across the wood, back and forth, like something had been testing it, all night, trying to figure out how to get out. I don't stay there anymore. I left, packed what I could, and never went back. But sometimes, late at night, when everything's quiet, I still hear it, not scratching, not breathing, something else. A voice, my voice, calling from somewhere in the dark. Go to sleep. So if you're still listening right now, lying there in the dark, you might want to check your room, because some things don't stay outside. They just wait until you let them in. And once they're inside, they don't leave. They learn, they watch, and eventually, they start to sound just like you. So if you made it this far, you're one of us now, the ones still awake.